Our next talk today is by Adrian McNeil. Adrian is the CEO of Foxglove. I hope you visited the booth out front. It's a Bay Area company specializing in visualization and debugging in robotics. And in lieu of a traditional bio, today Adrian has kindly provided us with 2 truths and a lie. Number 1, he's from New Zealand. Number 2, he has 2 small children. And number 3, he recently hiked to Everest Base Camp. So by a show of woos and yas, who thinks the lie is New Zealand?
Make that
They're
up.
on to you.
Which is the first lie again?
That he's from New Zealand. This is 2 truths and a lie. Okay, who thinks the lie is that he has 2 small children?
That's not
Who,
the lie.
who thinks the lie is that he recently hiked to Everest Base Camp? Who
No
is
one wants
afraid
to
of
commit.
public speaking?
Me. I was the trigger.
There we go. All right, Adrian,
All right, we'll tell you at
enlighten
the
us.
end. Yeah. You don't find out. Hey, I'm Adrian from Foxglove. As I was introduced, I won't tell you what the lie was. Who has heard of Foxglove? All right, great. You get a candy. You get a candy. Very nice. So, Foxglove is data visualization and debugging for robotics. We have a booth. Come say hi. So, robots. We're all excited about robots. That's why we're here. There's a lot of, you hear a lot of talk today about self-driving cars and other sort of, very hype use cases, but by the end of this decade, robotics are going to be ubiquitous. There's all of these different types of robots that are being built now that, you see some of them here today. There's people deploying robots in factories. There's people deploying robots in farms. We've got drones. We've got cyborg delivery. All of these are kind of, part of robotics, and they all require very similar types of sensor technology, very similar types of navigation, very similar types of AI and machine learning. Unfortunately, one of the things that's kind of holding back robotics development that we see is that the developer tools for building robots are just not there. So Foxglove is a company we've been around for a couple years. Before starting Foxglove, I worked at Cruise Automation, the self-driving company, for about 5 years, and spent a lot of the time building the in-house tooling that helped us log data on the vehicles, analyze data from the vehicles, get it off the vehicles to the cloud, simulate the vehicles in a fabricated environment, remote assistance for the vehicles. How do we connect to them when they get stuck and get them out of that situation? And even just fleet management. How do we assign tasks to the vehicles? How do they pick up a task? How do they kind of notify you when it's complete? All of this infrastructure needs to be built from scratch today. And when you go and talk to the big self-driving companies today, you go and talk to Waymo or Zoox or Cruise or Aurora, they're all building all of this stuff in-house. And that's fine, because they have 2,000 people and billions of dollars, they can go and build that in-house. But then when you are building, a self-driving forklift or a self-driving lawnmower, you don't have thousands of people. You don't even have tens of people. You have 3 people and a lawnmower that you need to automate. So Foxglove is here to sort of help build some of this tooling that you can use to get your robots into production. And the tooling that exists today, or I guess prior to Foxglove, is sort of pretty outdated, right? So you've got people copying files onto thumb drives. You've got tools that are only working in Linux, and you've got some of the like ROS and AVIS tooling has been around for a long time. It was great for its time when it was built in 2010 or 2012, but it's another decade has passed since then, and it's time to evolve. So at Foxglove, we do a couple of things. We do visualization and debugging, and then we also have a data management backend. On the visualization side, this is an open source tool that we provide, so you can connect it to any type of robot. It can work with ROS data, we can work with protobuf data, JSON data, all sorts of different types of data. And specifically, I guess, this tool helps you investigate multimodal data. So when you're doing traditional software engineering, a lot of the data that you get from software is either sort of time series data, it's just numeric kind of plots and things, or it's text log data. It's just, I'm going to read through these logs and figure out what was going on. When we're debugging a robot, we can't just read through a bunch of text logs and figure out, like, why did this robot crash, or why did the robot fall over or trip down the stairs or something. We can't just look at text logs. We have multimodal data. We have camera images, we have maps, we have plots, we have 3D sort of images and environments, point clouds. So we need a platform that can help kind of investigate and debug this multimodal data. What else? Yeah, teleop. We also do teleop. That's another kind of type of thing that you need to do with a tool like this. And yeah, we support tons of different data formats. So like I say, it's open source. We support ROS, ROS1, ROS2, protobuf, JSON. You can also use the visualization tooling for both a live connection to a robot. So you're just sitting there, make it drive, see what it does. Or you can do it with recorded data. So we've got log files. I've recorded these log files. I need to, go and investigate it later, figure out once I'm actually back at my computer what's going on. I don't know, is anyone who's familiar with ARVAs? Have people heard of ARVAs, used ARVAs? No? All right, no one gets a candy. All right, you get a candy. Hello, robot, there you go. Oh, no, you get a squashed candy. All right, one person said it. So in the ROS, who's heard of ROS? Let's start, easier. All right, one over here. See how good my throwing is. You already got one. All right, so ROS is a, ROS is a robotics framework that you would use, software framework that you would use to help build robots. ROS comes with a tool called ARVAs, which is, like I said, it's been around for a long time, that helps you do this type of debugging. But yeah, Foxglove has sort of a few, it's a newer platform. It's built on top of a web stack. You can plug it in with cloud data, things like that. You can kind of just like seek and find easy, parts of your data. And, also we have dark mode, which is very trendy these days. How much time have we got? So the data platform piece, I also kind of mentioned, I'm working on my robots locally. That's great. I'm just 1 or 2 people hacking on a project. And then my robotics startup starts doing really well, and we start building dozens of robots, and we hire like 50 engineers or 100 engineers. And then we build like hundreds of robots, and now we've got hundreds of robots and hundreds of engineers, and we need to give all of the engineers a way to get access to all the robot data. So this is what people typically build when they start building their robot. They get their robots out in the field, and then their robots are logging data, and then they start kind of uploading it places, and some of it goes to Dropbox, and some of it goes to Amazon S3. And it's in different formats, and you've got video data, and you've got ROS data, and you've got text logs. And then you have all of these different kind of stakeholders, different people in the company that want to access it. And they can't, because it's a data swamp. It's just all kind of, all messy in there. So yeah, this is another part of what Foxglove can help with. Aside from the visualization kind of front end, we also help companies grab all of their data off the robots, store and index it, make a nice kind of clean environment, and then provide an API for different teams to do what they need. What else have we got? Oh, live demo. Should we do a live demo? All right. So we will jump into, just gonna pull up Foxglove Studio. Make sure I don't trip over this thing. Okay, so yeah, like I say, we can do live data. We can also connect to files. I'm just gonna open a file here because we don't have any live robots to demonstrate with, and also I don't have a very good internet connection. But yeah, this is kind of the Foxglove environment. So like I say, if you're building hobby robots, if you've got a first robotics team, if you've got even in a company setting, you can kind of either download this app to your computer, or you can just go to the website. Doesn't even require an account. You can just kind of go in and start feeding data into it. Yeah, so we're in this environment. This looks kind of bare bones to start with. We've got kind of a basic grid and a bunch of transforms. We'll hide those, but we can start kind of showing topics. So we can bring up the sort of base map that we've got here. We can add in things like lane markers and boundaries. We can add in things like a model of our little vehicle, and then we hit play and see them start driving. Yeah, see kind of what's going on in the scene. We can turn on LiDAR. We can turn on what else? Markers. Oh, what else are we detecting in this scene? Bunch of vehicles and things. And then we can also start bringing in, like I said, we can create an image, throw it up there. There's a bunch of different cameras on this car, so I think we can change that to like the front camera. And then maybe we want to get sort of just inspect some of our raw data as well. So we'll bring this over here, leave the camera up there. some of this, and then maybe start plotting a few things. Rearrange this kind of layout however you want, and maybe we'll get another camera up there. So yeah, we can kind of camera front, left, yeah, and then hit play, debug it. And so the reason you would use a tool like this is, and again, this is a self-driving example, but it might apply to your self-driving lawnmower or your self-driving tractor or your kind of warehouse robot. But we're trying to debug something, right? We're like, why did we slam on the brakes here? Or why did our robot crash or flip over or trip down the stairs, whatever it's doing. To do that, you need to sort of investigate the data. You need to go in and say, oh, well, we slammed on the brakes because we thought this guy was about to pull out in front of us. Why did we think that? He had his indicator on. I don't know. You may want to like plot little, oh, this is the path that we were planning on taking, and then at this point it changed. Yeah, so you can do all of these kind of different visualizations, and it's really up to you what you put in the scene. We don't give you any, there's no preconceived thinking out of the box about what you're trying to visualize. You just decide, I want some lines here and I want some sort of 3D model here. Yeah, so that's more or less it. We're Foxglove. We're sort of fully remote company, but good presence here in the Bay Area. I live in the Bay Area, and yeah, we've got a booth just kind of over that direction. So come by if you want to chat, and we're open to questions. I have one more, so you may. Oh, sorry, it's a crushed one. Oh, which one was? Oh, right. So the three. What did we have? We had I'm from New Zealand, and we had 2 small children and hiked Everest Base Camp. I don't know. What do you think? All right, I'll narrow it down. I'm from New Zealand. All right, I'm from New Zealand. No, I have 2 kids. Yeah. No, I did not hike Everest Base Camp. It sounds fun though. One day. Yeah, the 3rd one was a lie. Yeah. We're about 20 people. Yeah, we work with a lot of different, like I say, different kind of self-driving companies and different robotics companies, and yeah.
The data is right?
Yeah. You can put any data you like in, but we have specific types of visualizations that work well with cameras and work well with point clouds, LiDARs, GPS. Like, there's a bunch of different types of data that we work really well with.
How can you apply your data to agriculture, for example?
Yeah. So like we work with a few companies in the agriculture space. Same kind of thing, right? So you've got there's different types of things being built in agriculture. Some things are just like self-driving tractors. Some things are like autonomous sprayers or things like this. Same type of thing though. At the end of the day, it comes down to, let's say we have an autonomous sprayer. It's got some cameras. There's some decisions. So you've got different state, like is a sprayer on or is a sprayer off? Maybe we're detecting, are we detecting weeds or are we detecting that this is like a carrot or something? So you want to be able to kind of render that data and see, oh, this is my camera feed, and then this is kind of the decisions that were being made. So same thing, where it's used as a debugging tool.
Can you speak a little bit about the cost of your technology?
Yeah, so the visualization is all open source and free. And then, so if you're just working with local files or local data, that's free. And then if you are working with cloud data, you want us to help organize data in the cloud. Depends on how big your team is. It's per user license. It's a
you
SaaS.
will sell that as a service.
Yeah, it's a SaaS tool. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. One over here, I think. Yeah.
It wasn't really clear where the data is hosted. So can you clarify on that?
Yeah, so where the data is hosted depends on if you can go to a website. So you can visualize local files or just like a live robot connection, and it's your data. If you use our SaaS platform for sort of indexing and storing all of that, we can either host it for you, it just runs in Google Cloud, and it's all sort of like fully managed platform, or we can actually deploy it into customer cloud environments. So we have customers in Amazon or Azure or Google, and we can sort of deploy that into customer environments. Yeah. Any other questions? I'm out of candy, sorry guys. That was all I brought.
Thanks, Adrian.
All right, thanks.